Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to another English class. So this week we are going to focus on how to improve our listening skills. So there's a saying that goes, we were given 2 ears but only one mouth, because listening is twice as hard as talking. Last week we already discussed why this is so and what can we do to become better listeners in general. But today I'm going to explain how we can be better at listening when we hear or listen to people talking in English language. Okay, so before we have identified, last week some of you identified the reasons why listening can be difficult, right? So the first thing is you identify that you don't understand because you don't have enough vocabulary and knowledge of pronunciation. So when you hear this word, you don't know what's that word, how do you write it? Or sometimes, why is that word different? I know that word in writing, but when I listen to it, why does it sound different? Okay, so, and the other thing is that you hear the native speakers speak English too fast. So their normal speed of speaking is too fast for us non-native speakers to be able to understand. So we can't keep up, right? And the other thing is it's hard to concentrate. Okay, so it's hard to concentrate listening in our own language. Even if we listen to Bahasa, sometimes it's hard to concentrate. If you're listening to your lecturer, if you are in class listening to your teacher talking in your own language, sometimes it's hard for you to focus, especially during long listening, such as lectures, for example. And then little opportunities to practice, right? If you don't live in an English speaking country, you don't have many opportunities to listen to people talking in English. Okay, so this is why it's hard, because you don't have enough practice, because you don't get the opportunities to practice. So what can we do about it? Well, I always advise that you practice listening to at least something, and that is something that you should enjoy. Okay, so if you like listening to music, you can try listening to English songs, and not just listen to the songs, try to find out the lyrics, try to find out what they mean. Of course, sometimes, well, for me, I am interested in songs because I find the lyrics interesting. Okay, so maybe you can find out more about the lyrics, or you can watch English movies like Hollywood movies or series. Yeah, or you can, now we have YouTube, you can watch short videos on YouTube or maybe on Facebook, or listen to English podcasts of the topic that you are interested in. And the second one is, it's okay. Don't try to understand every word. Okay, so it will become very stressful if you find one word that you don't understand and then you give up because, oh, I don't understand most of these words. Okay, but in reality, you don't have to understand every word. So just try to listen for the main ideas. So what's the main thing or the important thing that the speaker is trying to tell us, or listen for specific information. What is the specific information that I'm looking for when I listen to this person? Okay. The next one is identify stresses and reductions. The interesting thing about English language is that English is not a phonetic language. So you can tell which words are important from the way the speaker says it. So you can probably tell when I'm talking in English, you know which words are important by the way I stress some words and the way I reduce some of the words. Okay, so for example, if I want to say in bahasa, ya, saya pergi ke rumah nenek. Okay, saya pergi ke rumah nenek. When you are translate that to English, I am going to grandma's house. I'm going to grandma's house. Okay, so you can see that in English, I stressed some of the words. Okay, so I will try to type it on here. So when I say, I am going to grandma's house, I am going to grandma's house. So the normal, the natural way that the English people say this sentence is, I am going to grandma's house. I am going to grandma's house. So you can see that I stressed two words in the sentence, going and grandma. I am going to grandma's house, right? So I know that the important parts of this sentence is going and grandma. So we learn this when we are learning speaking, yeah, which in the section called sentence stress. Okay, so we stress some of the words, yeah, and we reduce some of the words, such as am. So we usually reduce this to make it I'm going to grandma's house. That means if you are listening to this sentence on the phone and the reception is bad, yeah, so the signal is not good. If we just hear the word going and grandma, you can probably have an idea of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm going to grandma's house. So you know that I'm going somewhere and that I'm going to grandma. So that means this is what it means by stresses and reductions. Okay, so different from bahasa. Saya pergi ke rumah nenek. So it's more flat, right? Whereas in English, it's more dynamic. Yeah, the tone or the intonation of the words, right? So we have what we call sentence stress and also what we call word stress. We learned that in the video about speaking. Okay, so if you know which words are stressed, you know which words are important. You know what is important that the speaker is trying to say. Okay. Okay, let's move on. So the next one is get meaning from context. Okay, so this means that you don't feel lost if you don't understand. Yeah, try to guess what the meaning is. Okay, so for example, if I have a sentence, okay, if I have this sentence, I am going to the Shlamka to buy some biba for dinner. There I met the fairy and she was very nice. Okay, so from this sentence, you don't know what Shlamka, biba, and fairy mean, right? So you don't know what they mean. But you can kind of guess from the context. I am going to the Shlamka to buy. So you can guess that, oh, I think Shamka probably means something like a store, right? Because you go there to buy something, okay? And then to buy some biba for dinner. Okay, so maybe biba is a type of food because you buy it for dinner. Okay, there I met the fairy and she was very nice. So fairy refers to a person. Okay, so maybe it's some kind of a profession, okay, or a title, right? So because it refers to someone. So you can guess the meanings of these three words, even though you don't know what they mean. Okay, so I just made up these words, but if they have some meaning, you can kind of guess what they mean, right? Okay, let's move on. So some tips from me, yeah, for better listening that I apply when I'm trying to improve my listening is the first one is listen to your level. Okay, so maybe um, you want to practice your listening, yeah, but you choose a level that is too hard for you. So it will become difficult for you to get better because the level is too difficult for you. Or if it's too easy, you will find it boring and you will not improve as much. So try to listen to your current level of English. Okay, the next one is when listening to a podcast or an audio, try to get access to the transcript. Okay, so a lot of podcasts have the transcript, yeah, where you can read the transcript as well as listen to the podcast. So try to listen first without the transcript and then listen again while looking at the transcript. So you can either read the transcript first and then listen to it, or you can listen to the podcast while you are reading, or you can just listen and then if you don't understand what's that word, you can look at the transcript and you can try to find the meaning of the words. Okay. When listening to a recording, if it's a video and audio, you can adjust the speed if you find it too fast. Okay, such as if you play through YouTube or if you play through some media players on your computer, it gives you the option of changing the speed. Yeah, so if it's 0.75 slower, yeah, or if it's 0.5 times slower. Okay, so you adjust the speed if you find it too fast. But do get accustomed to the normal or natural speed of the speaker. So try to familiarize yourself to the normal speed, the natural speed that native speakers of English speak. Okay, so they may probably be talking too fast, especially if you are listening to Australian English, for example, and some Americans even speak too fast, like the video last week. Yeah, the person was talking really fast because they're not uh, talking to um, non-native speakers in mind. Okay, so if you listen to English videos, you find that the speed of the recording or the speed of the speaker is usually slower, like the way I am talking to you now. Okay, so we slow down the way we speak because we are giving English lessons. Okay, so if we speak too fast, you will not be able to understand. So we usually slow down the speed of our speech. Yeah, but in normal situations, the way native speakers speak may be a little too fast for you. So you just try to get used to it. Okay. Now, if you watch a video or film, a lot of literature will tell you that not to use subtitles. That means you can train your ears to listen to the words, okay, without um, reading what it means. But subtitles are good if you want to improve pronunciation and vocabulary. Okay, so for me personally, if I watch English language series, even though I understand, I always turn on the subtitles because sometimes I pick up some words that I don't understand, okay, and then I look at the subtitle to see how that word is written, okay, so that I can go to the internet later, yeah, to browse for that word, okay, so I can Google that word to find what that means. If I don't turn the subtitles on, of course, I won't know how to spell that word. And then, so I don't know how to search it online because I don't know how to write it. Okay, so for me, I use subtitles. It's okay. Yes. So you can do either way. And then what we always tell our students is you need to have a routine schedule to practice a language. Okay, so a regular schedule. Okay, for me now I'm trying to learn during the lockdown. I'm starting to learn Arabic and Korean, right? And so I dedicate my time before bed, yeah, before I go to sleep, yeah, to do some exercises to learn those languages. Okay, so it's a good exercise to wire your brain down, yeah, before you go to bed. Yeah, so that's what I do. So I choose one time before I go to bed, yeah, before I go to sleep, yeah, and then I do the exercises until I'm sleepy, and then after that, I go to bed. Okay, so but choose a time that is most suitable for you, as long as it's a regular time. So that means you're training your brain, yeah, to think about this new language. Okay, so we'll learn more about that in our speaking section next week. Okay, so before I gave you tips on how to practice your English listening. Now I'm going to tell you what to do when someone is talking to you in English. So maybe you have a meeting, yeah, in your office where the person is not a native of Indonesia. Okay, so you have to, or he or she has to speak in English to communicate with you. Okay, or maybe you meet someone at a conference or a seminar, yeah, where they are not talking in Bahasa. So what do you do if you are engaged in a conversation where you have to listen to someone talking in English? Okay, the first thing, like we discussed last week, is to focus and to concentrate. So dedicate this time wholly and completely to listen to the other person. The next one is listen optimistically. Don't lose interest. Yes, so have a positive attitude towards this listening. Okay, that means you won't lose interest and let your focus be out of the way. Spend more time listening and talking. Yeah, so that means you have to focus instead of just talking back, yeah, or talking to someone else. And don't try to translate every word. Okay, like I said, yeah, guess the meaning from the context. You can usually try, when you are listening to someone talking in English, you can usually guess what the person is trying to say. Okay, so our brain is clever. It can make inferences, it can guess the meaning of the words, yeah, when someone is talking to you. Yeah, so have faith in your brain. It's smart enough to do that. So don't try to translate every word in your head, right? And then like last week presentation, yeah, from the TED Talk video, do these four strategies, the rasa strategy. Yeah, so to receive, so you listen well, acknowledge, yeah, provide feedback to show your listening by saying, okay, yeah, like that. Summarize, yeah, so or paraphrase or using the word so, yeah, so after they talk and then you can say, so you're saying that blah 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 blah, okay, and then ask questions, okay, so ask questions regarding what the person is saying. And you don't need to know a lot about the subject to have a conversation, but you need a desire to understand, the intention, yeah, the will, niat. Yeah, so you need the intention, the will, the desire to understand about the subject. Okay, like now probably you think that your English level is not very good. Okay, your English level is not very good, but you are listening to me because you have a desire to understand, a desire to learn, right? A desire to improve your English language ability. The next one is judge content, not delivery. Okay, so judge what they say, the words that they're saying, the meaning of the words, not how they say it, right? So, oh, that person is talking too fast. Oh, he's talking too slow. Oh, I don't like the way he talks. Why does he talk with his hands in the air? Okay, so why does he talk while he's pacing around the room? Okay, so why he wears that shirt? Okay, so don't focus on those things. Just focus on what the person is trying to say. Okay. Okay, so that's it I have to say for this week. Okay, so we'll do an exercise later on. So I hope you learn better about how to be or how to improve your English listening. Okay, so thank you for participating. I'll see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.